All right, y'all. Time to check in. How are you doing? Or as the Duchess would say, how are you doing? I don't know if there's much of a difference. Anyways, managing, holding in there. So I experienced something pretty much all day yesterday that both Jill and Eddie have already experienced, and that is having the physical chest pain manifestation of anxiety at this point. And although I had my first little episode yesterday, it's been lingering there for a while. I mean, it comes on as sort of an anxious week already. Earlier this week, I returned to set for the first time since quarantine and social distancing started. And weirdly enough, it was the last set I was on before quarantine started. They had to do some reshoots and asked us to come back. And everybody was incredibly kind, conscientious about masks and hand sanitizers and socially distancing. But it was still anxiety inducing because, number one, that was the most people I'd been around since social distancing started. And literally, I went from that shoot, ended that the next day. It was like, let's shut everything down. And I was like, oh dear God. Um, but yeah. And it wasn't even that big of a crowd. Probably about 6 on cast, including all of us on cast. And then the director, 4 people helping him, I want to say. So total of 10 people. And it was still anxiety inducing. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I went in and broke the seal, so to speak, because I've missed set and the camaraderie that comes with working collectively on a project. I love being on set. Like, I genuinely love it. I love looking at all aspects of filmmaking. And, I mean, it was hot, and I mean, yes, we're complaining about the heat, but also really excited to be back on set. And we were mostly indoors in a giant old wooden warehousey type building right on the river in North Georgia. Really a great place to social distance while on set because there was plenty of room for all of us to keep apart when we weren't filming. I love watching directors work. I love watching actors work and lighting and grip people work. And the clapperboard person who, I think, Kat, maybe you may get mad at me, but it's the AC, right? The first AC. He claps the board, or she. We had a she on the Duchess. The person. Look, the pandemic and quarantining and social distancing, it makes me sad because my group and I have had to cancel several projects, several of them. Earlier this year, and by we I mean Critical Crop Top, we were supposed to shoot a whole series of sketches, and our idea for the crowdfunding video was so much fun. Like, we were so excited to shoot it. And we just had to watch it just fade away, and it's also delayed the Duchess getting out. And thank God we already shot that and all the reshoots. We did the reshoots in January, thank God. I wanted to film my pilot. Right now I call it the Untitled Panda series. And it's very relevant to what's going on right now in the news with cops still killing black people. Mm-hmm. Not some tea. I wanted to film my pilot this fall and start raising funds for that. And I want to start laying the groundwork for my feature. I should say features because I figure go ahead and give the Duchess a feature. So while we're out there doing all this stuff, you could be like, hey, got a feature, want to throw some money at this feature? Please invest. And there's another script I need to polish up besides the Duchess. It's called The Waltz. It's a pet project of mine. I'll just give you one word. And wow, I did not know that this was going to happen, but it appears that I'm wearing yellow, just like in Beauty and the Beast. And there's a whole scene in The Waltz that circles around that ball gown scene in the yellow dress. Anyways, and my friend Melissa Francis and I were supposed to make a short film called Torn Together about personal experiences we've all faced individually that made us feel torn between 2 parts of our identities. Now, this was like when I had to write my part for this film, I had to go in and dig deep, and I was crying as I wrote it because it was, let's just say it was that deep. And I really hate that we're not getting to work on this right now, and I really hope that we get to work on it next year. And Melissa and I were talking about it last night when we had a Zoom hangout, which it sucks because it's not there in person and all that. I miss people. Anyways, look, I know life will eventually return, but in the meantime, I'm making these videos doing this show. Number one, it's always been a dream of mine, but also, for me, it's a way of staying sane and connected. In fact, doing these videos have become my own form of self-care. It seems to give me a sense of purpose and helps me structure my day for the most part, because I wake up and then I type out my little script and then I upload it into the teleprompter because there's no way I'm doing this without one. And then I record, then I edit, and then I post. Some days I do multiple episodes like today. Let's see if you can spot the similarities between this episode and the next, or the next episode and this one, previous episode. One of them, look, sausage making. It's messy. Anyways, doing this helps to give me a sense of purpose, and it helps me structure my day for the most part. It helps me feel like I'm still creating and doing something. And as my therapist told me, one of those four thingies of coping and all that other, one of them was mastery. And this helps me feel a sense of mastery and accomplishment, because I'm getting to work on my editing skills, my shooting skills, and I even shot myself a little short film the other morning. Like, isn't that crazy? It's a very, very emo short film. I'm digressing a lot. Too much coffee. Anyways, most exciting for me is that I found that it helps me to connect with you all, because the feedback has been amazing and incredible, and I am most appreciative, really most appreciative. And what I also love is that it just gives a point of connection. Like, look, because the social distancing sucks. Like, I too want to go out and have a huge party and invite all of my friends and say, like, let's just put all our cares in the past. But number one, that would just be irresponsible. And number two, I cannot live with the guilt if I know that doing something that reckless killed somebody or hurt somebody that I loved. So I wear the mask outside. I do my best to socially distance. Even while on set earlier this week, we were all super respectful because we all have families that we care about. And I hate that the wave is coming back, but we just... Look, our grandparents and great-grandparents got through world wars, slavery, civil rights movement, and a whole bunch of other stuff, the Great Depression. I've lived through 9/11. We can live through a lot. We can make it through this, and we can get through this. We all just have to help each other. So I'm most appreciative for this show because it allows me to connect with you all virtually, be better in person. And yes, I would love to have a live audience because, look, I'm an actor and I need people and interaction and the feedback and the adulation, and people to tell me that I'm pretty, and someone to hold my Beyonce fan, and for it to just fan me gloriously. Like, see, if I could have a crew, I could have my Beyonce fan going right now. I'm digressing so much. None of that was on script. Anyways, so what I would love, though, is I would love to hear all of your self-care stories and your self-care routines. What are you doing that's helped you keep sane? To help make sense of all this? Have you been making videos? Have you been watching TikTok? I know some of y'all are on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but I've been watching TikTok videos. Hilarious. Send them to me. Yeah, what have you been doing to help keep sane and help make sense of all this? And yeah, I know it's hard to keep sane in these moments, but if you need to, go get a crown or a tiara. Put it on. As always, keep bearing the lightness of pain. I love you.